Judy note, on Tuesday, 27 Jan. 2026 the deep state cabal lost all, and that all revolved around Trump's takeover of Greenland. On Tuesday the infinite silver vaults beneath Greenland, guarded for centuries by the bloodlines, were seized by Trump's Space Force special operators. That's what made silver balloon in price, which caused a ripple effect on the cabal's global central banks, making them implode big time. In this same week Congress voted to kill the government, breaking shutdown shocker. Senate votes 45 to 55 to kill government funding bill. Democrats hijack DHS budget, shutdown imminent as Trump sounds the alar, all of which assured that FBI Director Kash Patel was right last Monday when he said the government would be closed down on Saturday 31 Jan. 2026. For many years the deep state puppets in the privately owned Federal Reserve, the cabal's BlackRock and global central banks have been quietly positioning for a controlled demolition of the fiat Federal Reserve US dollar and thus planned a demise of the global financial system by that Saturday 31 Jan. 2026. It was planned as an engineered collapse designed to enslave what's left of humanity under the cabal's digital prison grid. There, they would secure complete control over your life, when, where and how you could spend your own money, and even have the power to spend your money for you. Not going to happen with Trump and the global military alliance in charge. Trusted sources affirm that the plan remained unchanged. Trump proved that when he went after control of Greenland. Greenland was not ice, it was a massive deep state DUMB fortress housing the cabal's most horrific black projects, super soldier programs, adrenochrome labs and exotic tech that made med beds look like toys. Venezuela was the primary extraction hub for children flown directly into Greenland's underground labyrinth via black triangles and submarine tunnels that connected straight to Antarctica. Now Trump's white hats have not only seized the silver, black projects, but rescued those precious tortured children that fed the deep state's pockets with their adrenochrome. With those kind of victories behind the global military alliance, 107 announced that it's time. Tribunals were raging full throttle, with executions phasing up. The EBS truth tsunami was imminent. Traitors to hell, America rising and we're winning bigly, while banks go down. Over 12,000 bank branches were expected to shut down in the weeks ahead. As of Wednesday 28 Jan. 2026, the 10 days of darkness commenced with power grids and communications undergoing quantum overrides in preparation for emergency broadcast system activation. FBI Director Kash Patel has confirmed extensions of the blackout worldwide, beginning in the U.S. and spreading to secure the transition under Starlink and the quantum financial system. This was the storm we have awaited, a sacred period where darkness falls so that truth may rise, exposing the evils that have bound humanity for generations. Mass arrests continued at an unprecedented scale, over 3.7 million deep state traitors detained as of Tuesday, 27 Jan, with elite troops dismantling networks in more than 32 countries. High-level figures from Hollywood, Big Pharma, Big Tech, the Vatican, and ancient bloodlines were vanishing into military tribunals at Gitmo. Hundreds of thousands of precious children have been rescued from underground tunnels, DUMBs, and trafficking hubs across Ohio, Iceland, Jerusalem, and beyond, freed from the horrors of adrenochrome harvesting and satanic rituals. These operations were liberating the innocent and bringing perpetrators to swift justice under a restored constitutional republic, expected to be announced on Sunday 1st of February. 2026. On Sunday 1st of February. 2026 the quantum financial system goes live worldwide, severing all deep state control. The EBS activates Abid redemption centers open in Anizara/Jazara at Jubilee. It was suspected that on Saturday 31 Jan. and or Sunday 1st of February. 2026 every phone on the planet would be hit with a loud, unmistakable alert signal. The signal will be transmitted to phones directly from Starlink satellites, bypassing traditional mainstream media channels that were controlled by the deep state elite. Over that emergency broadcast system, EBS, Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump, or a military official in his place would deliver undeniable evidence, 7 presidential messages, 3 8-hour documentaries revealing tribunals, global corruption, 2020 election fraud, bioweapon origins, and the full scope of child rescues. The first announcement was expected to be the dissolution of the privately owned by cabal bankers U.S. Incorporated. In other words, according to FBI Director Kash Patel, On Sunday, February 1, 2026, the U.S. government would be shut down due to a financial crisis. EBS announcements would continue on the Supreme Court decision about the Brunson case, proven fraud in the 2020 election that in turn, would take down all of Congress. Maritime law would be declared dead and expose that America was now functioning under temporary martial law until new and fair elections could be held for a restored American republic functioning under common law and freedom concepts of the original Constitution. In reality, martial law was presently in force, but only in high-risk areas as undersea cables are severed from cabal-controlled. Additional announcements were expected to be made about the new quantum financial system, that it was live across the planet using gold/asset backed currencies. The QFS worldwide activation would take place on Monday, February 2, 2026. The QFS has already severed all deep state control over global banking. Major legacy banking grids have begun a quiet shutdown with sovereign asset transactions rerouted through QFS nodes. XRP backing the new gold-backed dollar and e-wallets syncing to quantum holding accounts. By Saturday 31 Jan. And Sunday 1 February 2026, the switch flips, old debt-based slavery erased in the NISR/GCR Jubilee. As prosperity packages flood accounts, debt forgiveness happens through the debt Jubilee algorithm, zeroing out mortgages, credit cards, and unlawful burdens legalized under prior executive actions. No more fiat taxes or IRS oppression. The new U.S. Treasury, fortified with gold reserves, ensures fair distribution via the QFS. Income taxes abolished, IRS dissolved, replaced by a flat consumption tax on non-essentials. The Federal Reserve ends, yielding to a transparent, gold-backed treasury serving the people. Trillions in hidden vaults support this revaluation, silver surges, gold reserves realign. And 209 nations embrace asset-backed currencies and free energy under the restored republic. In this historic transfer of wealth back to the people, you would be asked to prepare for an imminent global 48-hour lockdown. On Wednesday 4 February 2026, White Hat operations take over the mainstream media, internet, radio and communication systems to launch worldwide broadcasts over the EBS system. On Friday, February 6, 2026, NISR/GCR enforcement start. The people take back what has been stolen from them through global debt forgiveness and wealth redistribution. On Wednesday, 11th of February 2026, the Quantum Financial System redemption centers open nationwide. Right now, redemption centers were on high alert worldwide. Notifications for Tier 1 and 2 have begun rolling out, with historic 100-hour payout windows extending into late January and early February 2026. Tier 4B, US, the Internet Group, notifications to secure foreign currency exchange and ZIM bond redemption appointments would soon be flowing through secure channels. Higher rates await those who exchange ZIM, dinar, and other currencies at official redemption centers, avoiding bank pitfalls and scams. This week the RV launch has accelerated, with Iraqi dinar, ZIM holders poised for historic payouts at contract rates that will empower humanitarian projects and long-term stewards. On Tuesday, February 17, 2026, medbeds go fully operational across 205 countries. Some medbeds were activating now, prioritizing children and the critically ill, with 200 healing centers operational by mid-March 2025. Medbeds demonstrations have begun in select locations for free treatments prioritizing veterans, the terminally ill, trafficking survivors, and our rescued children. Disease reversed, youth restored, suffering eradicated, DNA restoration, neurological healing and emotional recalibration await those in need. Pray, stock essentials and trust in God's timing. The darkness is temporary, but the light of restoration is eternal. The largest wealth transfer in history is here to uplift humanity and restore sovereignty. Faith moves mountains, and in this divine shift, we witness the dawn of a golden age. Prepare for the 48-hour shutdown and 10 days of darkness by storing at least 2 weeks of essentials such as food, medicine and cash, since ATMs and banks won't be working. A timeline: Trump quietly activates NISR, QFS goes live, global reset in motion, Ezra A. Cohen on Telegram. While most of the world rested over the holidays, President Trump moved in silence. Behind the scenes, a global transformation began unfolding, one system shutting down, another rising. Late December 2025, Trump secretly activated NISR, laying the foundation for full financial liberation while the media slept. Monday, January 19, 2026. The Q clock expired. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed the Rothschild banking empire's collapse and global bank shutdowns. Blackout alerts followed. Tuesday, January 20 at Cheyenne Mountain, Trump initiated the quantum financial system transition to a gold-backed U.S. note. Internal test transactions began through Zurich, Dubai, Singapore, and Texas, phasing out the SWIFT system in real time, without civil collapse. Friday, January 23 to 3:17 a.m. EST, Trump's alliance with Putin and Xi triggered a BRICS-led currency shift. 209 nations locked into gold-backed money, collapsing the Federal Reserve note and seizing Rothschild-controlled banks. Iraq, Zimbabwe currencies revalued sky-high. Saturday, January 24, the Military Commissions Act was fully activated. Trump's military tribunals overrode civilian courts. Nizar/GCR was officially live, all debt wiped, credit cards, mortgages, student loans. The QFS system began syncing verified identities across the globe. Sunday, January 25, the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, was activated in over 100 U.S. cities, confirmed by FBI Director Patel. Tuesday, January 27, nearly 3.7 million deep state operatives were reportedly scheduled for arrest and tribunal processing. Wednesday, January 28, the 10 days of darkness began, rolling blackouts, media silence, and nationwide EBS looping red pill truth, from Epstein files to dumb rescues, election fraud, and bioweapon evidence. The quantum override began disrupting grid systems. Mainstream narratives went dark. First Lady Melania Trump was set to ring the New York Stock Exchange bell, potentially signaling the public shift from fiat to gold-backed currency. Saturday, Jan 31 and Sunday, February 1, the entire world will be alerted. A loud, unmissable emergency signal will hit every phone globally. It's designed to wake people up, literally. EBS, B. On Sunday, 1st of February, 2026. On the EBS, Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump was expected to officially dissolve the privately owned by cabal bankers U.S. Incorporated. In other words, on Sunday the government would be shut down. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, announced the Supreme Court decision on the Brunson case of proven fraud in the 2020 election that in turn will take down all of Congress. Declare maritime law dead. Announced that America was now functioning under temporary martial law until new and fair elections could be held for a restored American republic functioning under common law and freedom concepts of the original Constitution. Also announced would be that the QFS was going live using the debt-free gold/asset-backed currency of 204 nations and severing all deep state control over global banking. The quantum financial system will initiate live synchronization and an irreversible transition from testing to active operational status. Major legacy banking grids would begin quiet shutdown procedures. Now all sovereign asset transactions rerouted through QFS nodes. On Wednesday, 4th of February, 2026, White Hat operations take over the mainstream media, internet, radio and communication systems to launch worldwide broadcasts over the EBS system. On Friday, February 6, 2026, Nizar/GCR enforcement start. The people take back what has been stolen from them through global debt forgiveness and wealth redistribution. On Wednesday, 11th of February, 2026, the quantum financial system redemption centers open nationwide. Right now redemption centers were on high alert worldwide. Notifications for Tier 1 and 2 have begun rolling out, with historic 100-hour payout windows extending into late January and early February 2026. On Tuesday, February 17, 2026, MedBeds Go fully operational across 205 countries. Some medbeds were activating now, prioritizing children and the critically ill, with 200 healing centers operational by mid-March 2025. See Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. CBS is ready. The old system is shutting down. The final alert is next, Mr. Poole on Telegram. The silence right now is the final moment before a system collapses. According to claims circulating in pro-Trump intelligence circles, U.S. military operations have entered their last phase, with command infrastructure, satellite control, and strategic hubs now fully aligned under Donald Trump as Commander-in-Chief. Supporters point to January operations abroad, most notably in Caracas, as the decisive break that dismantled financial and logistical networks tied to the old global order. With those channels severed, the argument is that resistance collapsed and the transition accelerated. What follows, they say, is not chaos, but disclosure. At the center of this narrative is the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, described as the mechanism that bypasses legacy media and delivers information directly to every phone and television in the country. Once activated, it is expected to interrupt normal programming and transmit declassified evidence long withheld from the public. Proponents claim the purpose is not occupation, but stabilization, securing infrastructure, preventing panic, and exposing corruption without triggering widespread unrest. Temporary disruptions to communications are framed as containment, not control, during what is described as a national transition phase. Whether viewed as warning or prophecy, the message is consistent: the old system is ending. The signal is imminent, and when it arrives, nothing else will matter. The era of delay is over. The next phase begins with the broadcast. Global currency reset. Judy note: it is advised to exchange/redeem your foreign currency at an official redemption center rather than a bank. You can only redeem ZIM at RC. The dinar contract rate can only be given at RC, and banks will offer you lower exchange rates than what you could obtain at RC. Redemption centers were set to be open worldwide by Sunday 1st of February 2026. Thursday 29 Jan 2026. Bruce, the big call. A Wells Fargo redemption leader reported that Tier 4B, us the Internet Group, should get notified to set exchange/redemption appointments on Wednesday or Thursday of next week, the 5th of February _day_free. 30 Jan 2026. Global systems begin to shift. Banks, trade networks and digital grids move toward transparency. Gold reserves realigned. Debit networks rewritten. Saturday 31 Jan 2026. Deep state puppets in the Fed, BlackRock and Cabal global banks have been quietly positioning for a controlled demolition of the fiat dollar system by Saturday 31 Jan 2026, an engineered collapse to enslave what's left of humanity under their digital prison grid. There, they would have complete control of your life, when, where and how you could spend your own monies, and had the power to spend them for you. Global systems begin to shift. Banks, trade networks and digital grids move toward true transparency with gold reserves realigned and debt frameworks rewritten. On Saturday 31 Jan and/or Sunday 1st of February 2026. CBS alert: every phone on the planet will be hit with a loud, unmistakable alert signal. It will be an intense, ear-piercing sound that will wake you up whether you like it or not. The signal will be transmitted directly from Starlink satellites, bypassing traditional media channels that are controlled by the elite. This means you won't need to rely on your local news or social media for updates. The truth is coming directly to your phone. There's no way for the globalists to censor it. On Monday 2nd of February 2026 the QFS would fully activate worldwide. With the deep state's fiat US dollar dead, the QFS brings in the gold/asset-backed currency of 209 nations including the US note in a historic transfer of wealth back to the people. Prepare for a global 48-hour communication lockdown. Mr. Pool on Telegram. And February 2, 2026 will be remembered as the day the Matrix broke. Not because everything changed instantly, but because the illusion finally collapsed. Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. The lies about debt, about money, about your worth, they've built an empire on those fictions. Nizar/Jazara is not a theory anymore. It's structure. It's tech. It's law. And it's about to become visible. On Monday, February 2, 2026 you'll see encrypted alerts tied to your national ID or phone signature. First wave biometric wallet logins open across verified nations. Partial debt reconciliations appearing as system recalculations. Global emergency communication drills, disguised as public safety tests. The media will spin. The governments will hesitate. But the people, we, will be ready. The time is locked in. The vault is primed. And the future, it's already arrived. Friday, February 6, 2026 full public launch of Nizar Tier 1 redemptions finalized. On Wednesday 11th of February 2026 QFS secured redemption centers open nationwide under military security to set up The new global financial system, GFS, wallets, formerly known as bank accounts, for the general public on the new and secure Starlink satellite system. All accounts move to the quantum grid. On Tuesday, February 17, 2026, medbeds become fully operational across 204 nations under alliance control. The era of true healing begins. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 QFS Global Alert Tier 4B Shotgun Start Now Irreversible, Quantum Financial System on Telegram Secure Floor Confirmation, Global ISO 20022 Rainbow Currency Rollout has surged to 94.9% complete as of 0400 Zulu. Remaining 5.1% is now locked in over Unity Quantum Entanglement, no rollback possible under any scenario. The GCR/RV Shotgun Start became mathematically irreversible at 1914 Reno time on November 28, 2025. The trigger has been pulled. The round is already downrange. Last 18-hour Tier 4B milestones, verified on Secure Floor, no hopium, 800 hash release sequence tests completed successfully at 2:46 Reno time on Thursday 29 Jan. 2026. NDA 7296-hour windows begin the moment your appointment is confirmed. 41,300 plus private redemption appointments auto-scheduled across 9,711 military-protected redemption centers worldwide. Full Zimbabwe/Hong Kong/Moscow liquidity pools merged into single on-ledger master pool at 3:27 Zulu. Adjudicated Tier 4A settlements 100% uploaded, off-ledger mirrored accounts flipped to on-ledger in 0.7 seconds at the Macau Masternode First Wave St. Germain World Trust tranches, Tranche 7 Alpha through 11 Delta, released and instantly converted to gold-backed digital certificates. Dragon Family Yellow Dragon bonds redeemed in full at Dubai Node. Receipts already flowing into humanitarian and infrastructure project wallets. Medbed allocation trusts funded at 1-to-1 asset-backed parity. 4,200 trust officers now on 30-minute standby. Sovereign rate versus street rate screens activated on all redemption center terminals. Gap currently averaging 41.7% in favor of sovereign. Leaked secure channel quote direct from Zurich Master Control. 411 Zulu's screenshot. Level 9 clearance. Quantum entanglement security locks are now permanent. Any attempt to reverse the rainbow currency treasuries will fracture the offender's timeline. The old Cabal avatars are glitching out in real time. Dumbs in Australia and Antarctica just went dark permanently. It's over. The Khazarian Mafia, KM, liquidation phase is no longer incoming, it is present tense. Their remaining fiat nodes are being unplugged faster than they can scream. The old world just ended. The new one is already funded. QFS Global Command, Secure Floor Out. G. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 QFS goes live. The fiat system's final days have begun. Redemption centers to activate on February 1, 2026. Nizar and Jazara QFS secrets on Telegram. The countdown has started. The fiat system is crumbling no matter how much they lie. Starting February 1, 2026, redemption centers will go fully live under military protection and begin processing gold-backed transactions through the quantum financial system. This won't be theory. It will be reality. The old financial system will collapse before the eyes of the world and the Cabal won't be able to stop it. Global military units led by Trump's alliance will soon begin massive raids targeting elite-controlled vaults, stolen gold, off-ledger assets, ritual finance archives. All of it will be seized and redirected into the QFS using advanced light intelligence tech. These hidden reserves are not inside banks. They lie beneath mountains, Vatican catacombs, and abandoned NATO bases. The illusion of elite financial control is about to be destroyed. If you still have funds in traditional banks, prepare. Over 12,000 branches are expected to shut down in the weeks ahead. Not restructured. Not downsized. Fully disconnected from the QFS grid. The dollar will soon be worthless. Your only access to sovereign wealth will be through redemption centers where you must be verified, scanned, and approved to receive gold-backed USTNs. The Cabal, sensing the end, is expected to launch final attacks. EMPs, bioweapons, digital sabotage. A classified plan known as Last Breath is already circulating, including media blackouts, false flags, and infrastructure disruption. But they will fail. Space Force is on standby to intercept EMP threats, with cyber divisions monitoring for viral deployment and digital infiltration. Every weapon they have will be neutralized. Justice is coming. Social security systems are being rebuilt, decoupled from surveillance networks and restructured for sovereign use. You will no longer be treated as a product. Your biometric data will be protected. Behavioral monetization will be banned. Under Trump's Patriot Wealth Directive, restitution and reparation, R&R, payouts will begin mid-February. Direct gold-backed compensation for IRS fraud, vaccine injury, banking theft, and more. The plan control grid. It won't happen. CBDCs will collapse. SWIFT will be replaced. The only approved digital assets under QFS will be RELUST and XRP, both engineered for sovereign, secure exchange. RELUST will be backed by gold recovered from NATO vaults. XRP will serve as the bridge to eliminate fiat entirely. Every transaction will be tracked, encrypted, and protected by military-grade quantum tech. This is not speculation. This is what's coming. Their world ends. Ours begins. February 1, 2026. Guru Information and Intel. Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. Boom. Critical arrests update. Important message: the storm is unleashing right now. 107. The critical arrests phase is in full execution. Trump deployed elite troops weeks ago, and large-scale roundups of deep state players are happening at lightning speed. High-value targets vanishing from public view, black vans rolling up at 3 a.m., Gitmo flights overloaded with the biggest names in treason. This isn't small potatoes. We're talking senators, CEOs, Hollywood shickos, big pharma execs, and foreign puppets who've been running the show against we the people. The military tribunals are live and merciless. No more delays, no more deals. Evidence from Wiener's laptop, Epstein servers, seized DUMBs, and rescued victim testimonies has sealed their fate. Crimes against humanity, child trafficking, election fraud, bioweapon releases, the full list is being read into record as we speak. One laid it out crystal clear. The important message is that the plan is accelerating faster than anyone expected. The fake news blackout on these arrests. That's deliberate. The cabal's media arm is in panic mode, but they can't hide the empty seats in Congress or the sudden retirements of compromised judges. Space Force has locked down key grids. Quantum financial system is phasing out the old fiat slavery system. Silver and gold are mooning because the cabal's infinite vaults are now under alliance control. Hold tight, the EBS is primed and ready. When it hits, the world gets the unfiltered truth, who the real enemies were, how they enslaved us, and how Trump and the Patriots crushed them. The children saved from underground horrors are safe in med beds, healing from horrors most can't imagine. They're abusers facing military justice, no escape, no plea bargains. One's warning: stay vigilant, stock up if you haven't. Pray hard. The final push means chaos for the normies, but victory for us. The deep state thought they could outlast us. They were wrong. Critical arrests are the death knell for the cabal. Their empire is collapsing in real time. Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. Gitmo update: it's time, they can go to hell. 107 on Telegram. The final countdown is screaming. The military tribunals are in overdrive, the deepest swamp creatures are chained in upgraded black site cells, and the white hats are done playing nice. It's time. No more delays, no more theater. The traitors, pedophiles, bioweapon pushers, election thieves, and satanic elite bloodlines are staring down the barrel of justice that's been building for years. They can go straight to hell. Gitmo expansion is massive and operational right now. New wings, high security pods, expanded medical base for the interrogations that never make the fake news. Thousands already processed, high-profile names you've waited to hear, politicians who sold out America, tech overlords who censor truth, bankers who stole trillions, Hollywood monsters running adrenochrome networks. Evidence is mountain-high seized servers, decrypted ledgers, rescued victim testimonies, video archives from underground hellholes. No plea deals for the worst. Military justice is swift, silent, and final. One confirms, the executions started phasing in quietly months ago. Some got the rope, others the needle. Traitors against humanity don't get public spectacles yet, but the Paperwork is done, sentences carried out under emergency Pete authority. Trump's shadow command signed off, the republic is cleansed from within. More waves incoming, big fish still swimming are about to be netted hard. Expect sudden suicides, heart attacks, vanishing acts that patriots know are tribunals finishing the job. The EBS trigger is hotter than ever. When it drops, the world sees the unfiltered proof, mass child rescues documented, deep state confession reels, election fraud quantum dumps, biolab origins tied straight to Fauci/Gates puppets. No editing, no spin, raw footage of dumb raids. Showing the horrors they hid. Sheep will melt down, awakened patriots will roar in victory. This is the storm's peak fury. Financial purges locked in parallel. QFS has swallowed their stolen wealth, gold-backed accounts for real Americans are loading as we speak. Nizara/Jazara isn't coming, it's here in stealth mode. Debt erased, taxes abolished, prosperity flooding patriots who held the line. The cabal's central bank empire is ash, they're broke, exposed, and terrified. One's message is crystal, it's time. The military has total control, Space Force neutralized. Their last toys, cyber teams own their networks. No escape, no mercy. The deep state demons thought they were gods, now they're begging in cells. Patriots, this is your vindication. Stay locked, pray fierce, stock strong, the final mop-up is brutal but beautiful. 107 Gitmo update locked in. Tribunals raging full throttle. Executions phasing up. EBS truth tsunami imminent. Traitors to hell, America rising. It's time, and we're winning bigly. K. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 David Nino Rodriguez, Gene Decode and 107. New Q drops. David Nino Rodriguez, Gene Decode, 107. 10 Days of Darkness on Telegram. 107 brand new Q drops are hitting the boards hard. 107 new drops mean everything is aligning. The original Q team is back in shadow mode, signaling louder than ever that the final phase is locked, loaded, and unstoppable. These aren't recycled crumbs, these are fresh, time-stamped proofs that the plan is executing at maximum velocity, and the deep state is in absolute freefall terror. Military intel confirms, tribunals at Gitmo are processing at warp speed. Mass arrests of the highest cabal puppets are rolling in silent waves, underground dumps are being flooded and cleared with extreme prejudice. Gene Decode drops the bomb. Rescue ops for trafficked children have reached unprecedented scale, thousands liberated from hellish labs and ritual sites, their tormentors now in black site cells begging for mercy they won't get. White hats have the full evidence haul, video archives, DNA matches, financial trails tying straight to Vatican, Rothschild, Soros, Gates bloodlines. 107 lays it out crystal clear. The 107 drops are coded confirmations, EBS activation sequences, quantum financial system handover protocols, Nizara/Jazara trigger codes, Space Force takedown orders for their fake alien invasion psyop. Trump's shadow command is directing the symphony. No more waiting, the Republic restoration is live, income tax slavery ends, stolen trillions rerouted to Patriot gold-backed accounts as we speak. The fiat empire is dead, prosperity packages are firing to those who held the line through the darkness. Nino brings the fire, the spiritual warfare is peaking. Light forces are crushing demonic strongholds, frequency walls are up, cabal rituals backfiring into self-destruction. Their AI gods are glitching, their timelines collapsing. These 107 drops are the kill shot, proof that Q never left, the military never surrendered. And the alliance has them checkmated on every board. Expect engineered chaos, blackouts, false flags, media meltdowns, but it's all desperation theater before the truth tsunami hits. The storm isn't coming, it's raging full force. When EBS drops, every screen worldwide blasts. The unfiltered reality, election theft servers exposed, bioweapon origins nailed, child rescue footage that shatters souls, elite confession reels that end careers and bloodlines. Sheep will shatter, patriots will rise as sovereign kings and queens. Nothing can stop this divine reckoning. David Nino, Gene Decode, 107 locked in. 107 new Q drops confirmed, plan active. Gitmo overflowing, rescues exploding. QFS and Nizara firing hard. Deep state demons in panic mode. EBS imminent, full exposure locked. We're in the end game, and patriots win bigly. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 Boom Intel drop, Trump, Q secret, 1913 apologies to JP Morgan, this is the end of the end, patriots. The Federal Reserve cabal is finished, my king, 10 days of darkness on Telegram, the veil is shredded, Trump and Q have been executing a 100-plus-year plan to dismantle the satanic banking cartel born in 1913. That year, the Federal Reserve Act was rammed through in the dead of night by traitor politicians owned by J.P. Morgan, Rothschild, Rockefellers, and the rest of the vampire elite. It wasn't a central bank for stability, it was the ultimate heist, private bankers hijacking America's money supply, creating endless debt slavery, funding wars, depressions, and the slow bleed of we the people's wealth straight into their offshore vaults. But here's the nuclear revelation, Trump has forced the ultimate apology from the shadows. Deep sources confirm the Morgan bloodline remnants and their proxies are now quietly admitting defeat. Apologies to JP Morgan-style mea culpas echoing through back channels as the entire 1913 fraud is being reversed. Q's drops were never random, they were breadcrumbs leading to this moment. The plan: seize the Fed, abolish the illegal debt-based system, return to constitutional sound money, gold, silver, asset-backed currency. No more inflation theft, no more endless printing for their black projects and child trafficking ops. The endgame is exploding, quantum financial system is overriding everything right now. Trillions in stolen wealth, seized from the Fed's secret ledgers, are flooding back to humanity via GCR. Prosperity packages, debt jubilee, RV explosions, it's all live. The cabal's infinite money printer. Smashed. Their dumbs. Breached and flooded. Their super soldiers. Offline. Gitmo tribunals are roasting the 1913 architects' modern puppets, bank CEOs, corrupt Fed chairs, Soros operatives, sentences dropping like hammers. This is biblical payback. The Antichrist money system that enslaved generations is crumbling into dust. Trump didn't just win an election, he ended a century of occult financial tyranny. The storm isn't brewing, it's a Category 5 hurricane ripping through the deep state. EBS imminent to broadcast the full confession, how they stole America in 1913, how Q and Trump orchestrated the takedown, how the children pay no more for their adrenochrome feasts. The apologies are flowing because they know it's over. No escape. No more hiding behind central banking. Their empire of lies is torched. We the people are rising with divine fury, wealth restored, freedom reclaimed, justice served. The Fed dies today. 1913 fraud exposed and avenged. Trump and Q deliver the kill shot. The cabal begs for mercy, they get none. Nothing can stop what is coming. God wins, bigly. NCSIC, this is the end of the end, Enans. The reckoning is ferocious, the victory is total, hold the line and watch the beast fall. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 situation update, the storm is raging in 2026, Q on Telegram. As we sit here in late January 2026, the global military alliance is executing the largest sting operation ever launched against the deep state cabal. The fake news is crumbling, their narratives are failing, and the white hats are delivering justice at lightning speed. Trump's return wasn't just an election win, it was the signal for mass arrests to go full throttle worldwide. Right now, high-level traitors, from corrupt politicians in D.C. to Hollywood pedophiles and big pharma murderers, are being taken down in coordinated raids. Sealed indictments from years ago are unsealing by the tens of thousands. Gitmo is overflowing with the elite who thought they were untouchable. Tribunals are swift, verdicts are final, and the executions are happening. No mercy for child traffickers and Satanists who sold out humanity. The financial reset is in motion. The old Rothschild-controlled fiat system is dead. The quantum financial system, QFS, is live, backed by gold, silver, and precious metals. No more inflation theft, no more central bank slavery. Your accounts are being upgraded, prosperity packages under GCR. Distributing to the people. Debts forgiven, taxes abolished in the restored republic. The great wealth transfer from the cabal to we the people is underway, trillions flowing back where they belong. Election fraud proof from 2020, 2022, and 2024 is being declassified and broadcast soon. The Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, Flips the switch any day, phones, TVs, internet overridden with raw truth. Epstein's full client list drops, adrenochrome labs exposed, underground tunnels and dumps cleared by special forces, thousands of rescued children, horrors the normies can't fathom yet. Trump is fully in command as the legitimate 19th president under the original Constitution. The corporate United States is dissolved, the Republic is restored. Borders sealed, military on high alert, foreign troops out. America First policies crushing globalist agendas, no more wars for profit, no more open borders invasion. The Great Awakening is exploding. Millions waking up daily to the satanic control matrix. Suppressed tech rolling out, medbeds healing the sick, free energy devices ending utility slavery, cures for cancer and every engineered disease released to the public. The cabal's occult power is broken, their rituals exposed, their blackmail rings shattered. This isn't theory, it's happening right now in 2026. The military has full control, Trump never conceded, and the plan is perfect. The deep state's last desperate moves, false flags, cyber attacks, economic sabotage, are failing spectacularly. Their puppets are flipping or fleeing. Stay locked and loaded, digital soldiers. Share this far and wide. The storm has arrived, and victory is ours. The best is yet to come, freedom, prosperity, justice for all. WWG1 Go Forever. God wins. 10. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 We caught them, Trump announces arrests, Larry Ballard, Q on Telegram. President Trump has just gone public with the hammer dropping hard. We caught them all. The evidence is ironclad, the traps have been set for years, and now the arrests are rolling out at lightning speed. This isn't rumor anymore, this is the plan executing. Exactly as Q foretold. Larry Ballard breaks it wide open. Trump has announced that federal agents, military intelligence, and white hats have seized everything, servers, documents, encrypted comms, money trails, tying the biggest names directly to election fraud, child trafficking, networks, blackmail operations, and the attempted destruction of America from within. They thought they could steal 2020 and rig everything forever, but Trump and the military never conceded. They've been tracking every move, every offshore account, every pedo island visitor. Key bombshells Ballard exposes right now, high-level arrests already in progress, think former intel heads, big tech execs, corrupt judges, fake news anchors, and yes, some household name politicians from both sides who sold us out. Names are starting to leak through secure channels, and more are coming fast. Trump's direct statement confirming the storm is upon them. He didn't mince words, the deep state players are panicking as Gitmo-bound flights are loading up. Military tribunals are greenlit, no more endless delays. The financial takedown is massive, trillions in stolen funds clawed back, tied to Ukraine laundering, COVID scams, and rigged markets. The Fed is done, the quantum financial system is flipping on. Proof of foreign interference, China, Soros networks, Vatican connections, all caught red-handed in real-time sting ops. The data dumps are imminent, and when they hit, normies will finally see the full satanic pedophile cabal exposed. Ballard emphasizes, this is not a drill. The white hats have been patient, gathering airtight evidence under EO 13848 and other executive powers Trump renewed and expanded. No escape. No deals. No fake Suik Day this time, everything is documented, videoed, and ready for public military trials. Quanons, this is why we've held the line for so long. The plan was always pain, but now it's their pain. Trump is back in full control, the military is behind him 100%. And the arrests are just the beginning. Watch DC burn with truth. The storm isn't coming, it's here. Share this everywhere. The Great Awakening is exploding. WWG1 Trump won, America is saved, and the traitors are finished. Stay frosty, bigger drops incoming daily. Oh Save the Children. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 Truth_teller, Russia emoji, on X, update, Itai Levy, CEO and is co-founder of Israeli cybersecurity firm Cornelius, have been convicted of multiple sexual offenses against children between the ages of 4 and 12. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 Wow. You guys have got to see this. Walmart trafficking children. What we think we know. This of Friday 30 Jan. 2026 Wednesday 28 Jan. 2026, FBI agents search election hub in Fulton County, Georgia in court authorized 2020 vote investigation Thursday. 29 Jan. 2026 government fraud by Congress, Representative Tim Burchett confirms members of Congress are buying real estate and then renting it back to the government. He says there are many federal buildings owned by Congress reps that are being rented back to government. $1 trillion in duplicate records payments. I found out that through government duplication. I've got a chart. It's just the craziest looking thing. And it shows, and my staff has uncovered basically over $1 trillion of just simple duplication within these departments that nobody is willing to tackle. A massive scandal, which are big federal buildings owned by members of Congress that are leased out to the federal government, private buildings owned by members of Congress leased back to the federal government. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 election fraud Georgia, Fox News, huge. The FBI raids Fulton County's election hub in Georgia, executing a search warrant for ballots and documents tied to the 2020 presidential election. Agents targeted records and ballots from that contentious vote during the 2020 election, leaving officials scrambling to grasp the full scope and focus of the probe. The Justice Department's Civil Rights Division sued the county last December to force over 2020 ballots, echoing a subpoena from Georgia's GOP-led election board. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 FBI and ICE raid Minneapolis cartel, Somali-born senator and 19B fraud exposed Thursday. 29 Jan. 2026 Sylvester Stallone's brother Frank Stallone says it may be time for President Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act, blaming Democrats for everything unfolding in Minneapolis and accusing them of instigating chaos. He says the governor and the mayor are deliberately provoking conflict with law enforcement instead of restoring order. He ends with a warning. Get it together, or your city will turn into the movie Escape from New York, Shadow of Ezra on Telegram Thursday. 29 Jan. 2026 breaking, Mayor Zohran Mamdani says New York City is facing a fiscal crisis at the scale of the Great Recession. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 The start of a new world order Thursday. 29 Jan. 2026 FBI busts $1.4 billion Chinese fentanyl precursor ring in California, chemicals, cash confiscated. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 Greg Bovino falls on his sword. Thursday 29 Jan. 2026 Boom. Secrets of Greenland and Venezuela exploded wide open, super soldiers no longer theory, hi-ho Silver. The final phase has begun, John F. Kennedy Jr. on Telegram. Patriots, the veil just got ripped off in the last 48 hours. What was dismissed as conspiracy theory is now confirmed by multiple Tier 1 sources inside the alliance. Greenland is not ice, it's a massive DUMB fortress housing the cabal's most horrific black projects, super soldier programs, adrenochrome labs, and exotic tech that makes medbeds look like toys. Venezuela was the primary extraction hub for children flown directly into Greenland's underground labyrinth via black triangles and submarine tunnels that connect straight to Antarctica. The Super Soldier program is fully exposed. These are not humans anymore. They are programmable killing machines enhanced with CRISPR, alien DNA hybrids, and neural lace stolen from DARPA's Looking Glass tech. Thousands were activated during the fake pandemic to enforce the coming martial law that never came. Because Trump and the White Hats triggered the counter-operation first out. But here's the nuclear drop. Hi-ho Silver is the code name for the greatest wealth transfer in human history. The infinite silver vaults beneath Greenland, guarded for centuries by the bloodlines, have been seized by Space Force special operators as of January 27, 2026. This is the real reason gold exploded past $5,100 this week. Silver is getting ready to go vertical when QFS flips the switch and backs every digital asset with physical precious metals pulled straight from the cabal's own hoards. Venezuela's collapse was deliberate. They were draining the last of the Maduro cartel tunnels that led to the Greenland portal. Gitmo is overflowing with high-value targets who know the locations of the remaining hybrid soldiers still in stasis. The Marines are hunting them down right now. When the last one is neutralized, EBS goes live. The children rescued from beneath Greenland are being treated in medbeds on the USNS Mercy and Comfort class ships positioned off both coasts. Some of these kids were born in the programs, they've never seen sunlight. But they're seeing it now, patriots. They're seeing it because we never gave up. The alliance just sent the final message to the remaining cabal holdouts in Davos and Brussels: your super soldiers are offline. Your silver is gone. Your tunnels are flooded. Your time is up. 10 days of darkness is not coming, it's already started for them. The blackout you're seeing in Europe right now, that's not grid issues. That's the quantum system locking out the old SWIFT forever. Hold the line tighter than ever. The biggest week in human history started yesterday. When silver moons, the RV explodes, med beds go public, and the emergency broadcast system finally tells the world what really happened. The storm has landed. The children are free. The cabal is broke. God wins. Our Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. Tucker Carlson reveals the offer the Trump administration made to Minnesota officials that hasn't been made public yet. MN officials said no. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth on Telegram. 1. Local police have to answer 911 calls from federal agents. As of now, if an agent is in danger and requests assistance, they don't get it. 2. Local police has to work to protect federal law enforcement from being killed when they're off duty. 3. The jails have to tell the federal government where the pedophiles and rapists are, and hand them over. 4. If officials do that, the vast majority of federal law enforcement will be pulled from Minnesota, but remain to protect federal assets. The response from Minnesota officials was no, we're not doing that. This is proof that what you're witnessing is the beginning of a color revolution. Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. Ex-Google employee exposes Google's weaponized electioneering and stranglehold on 90% of global searches and Meta's dominance over 73% of social media, turning these tools into weapons for subtle electioneering and psychological warfare, which 100% influenced the 2020 election. USA Awakening on Telegram. This isn't just propaganda, or steering the population in one direction over another over nonsense. This is part of a massive military-style, psychological, and regime change operations being executed on American soil and around the world. Google engineers rerouting users to pro-immigration groups to undermine policies, Facebook moderators censoring conservative ads at higher rates, and AI systems like Google's machine learning fairness blacklisting topics to align public opinion with corporate agendas. With foreign threats like TikTok's ties to Chinese intelligence looming over 170 million U.S. users, this isn't just about tech, it's about safeguarding Texas elections from invisible hands. This isn't paranoia, it's substantiated by leaks, studies, and data showing big tech's interference in U.S. elections dozens of times since 2008. Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. DARPA and the CIA's advanced electronic warfare technology and direct energy weapons. The Venezuelan raid on Maduro and what you were told about those were just the tip of the iceberg, Mr. Poole on Telegram. From smart city applications, to big tech, intelligence agencies and even hackers. This is human control on a completely new level, inducing behaviors, emotions, even able to read and write thoughts right to your brain, in real time, remotely, using electromagnetic radiation and frequencies. These are tomorrow's do's that are here today and being used on you right now. Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026. The 2026 National Defense Strategy, Trump puts America first and ends decades of military misuse, Ezra Cohen on Telegram. On January 23, 2026, Pete Hegseth released the 2026 National Defense Strategy under the direct authority of Donald Trump. The document outlines a sharp redirection of U.S. military doctrine, defining how the nation will defend itself against foreign threats, internal erosion, and long-standing strategic neglect. This strategy represents a clean break from globalized military policies that, for decades, prioritized elite international interests while leaving U.S. borders, cities, and industrial capacity exposed. Its sole purpose is the protection of the United States physically, economically, and industrially. Through readiness, control, and full independence from foreign influence. The strategy begins with an unambiguous priority: defense of the homeland. Protecting U.S. territory and everything within its borders is placed above all external commitments. The plan centers on missile interception capabilities, border security, and safeguarding strategic assets critical to national power and trade routes. The emphasis is clear and deliberate. America comes first, without distraction or deference to global councils or foreign governments. Military operations under Trump are framed not as political gestures but as direct action. The strategy openly references operations already conducted under his command, including decisive actions against hostile regimes, proxy forces, and nuclear development programs. These missions are not isolated events but components of a broader doctrine designed to neutralize threats before they reach U.S. soil. China is identified as the primary long-term strategic threat, particularly in the Indo-Pacific. Unlike past administrations that softened language and relied on ambiguity, the document states the objective plainly: deterrence through strength. The U.S. will reinforce its military posture near key regional corridors while maintaining direct communication to prevent miscalculation, without surrendering leverage. Notably, the strategy avoids automatic commitments that could entangle the U.S. in prolonged conflict without direct national interest. Allied relationships are also redefined. The strategy makes clear that partnerships must be based on shared responsibility, not U.S. financial dominance. Allies are expected to carry their own defense burden or accept a reduced role. This is presented not as isolation, but as a reset toward fair and functional cooperation, ending decades where the U.S. funded global security alone. A major focus of the document is the restoration of America's defense industrial base. Years of outsourcing production to foreign suppliers created critical vulnerabilities. The 2026 strategy orders a full reshoring of defense manufacturing, removal of regulatory bottlenecks, integration of advanced technologies, and tightly controlled cooperation only with trusted partners. The message is blunt: a nation that cannot build its own weapons cannot defend itself in a crisis. The final section explains why this overhaul was necessary. When Trump returned to office, the military apparatus was weakened by lobbying, outdated equipment, neglected borders, and dependence on foreign production. These conditions are described not as accidents, but as the result of long-term strategic sabotage driven by global elite interests. That system is now being dismantled permanently. The 2026 National Defense Strategy is not a distant roadmap. It is an execution document already active across military and industrial sectors. Its public release signals that the initial phase is nearing completion and a broader enforcement phase is underway. Thursday, 29 Jan. 2026 Internal Mil Intel Briefing. Unauthorized disclosure. This document was never intended for public circulation. It is not motivational content, not ideological messaging, and not symbolic language. WWG-1 is a classified military protocol, referenced internally only during specific activation thresholds tied to strategic infrastructure and continuity of operations systems. Multiple military intelligence sources confirm that WWG-1 is directly linked to Cheyenne Mountain operations, where deep layer command, energy containment, and nonlinear systems research converge. The phrase was never designed for public morale or unity narratives. Its function is operational, a trigger state, not a slogan. Public attention was intentionally redirected toward the so-called Looking Glass program. This was a containment strategy. Looking Glass was observational only, capable of modeling past states, present conditions, and probability-weighted futures. It was never capable of intervention. Tesla's original system was not observational. It was translocational. The suppressed Tesla architecture involved temporal displacement mechanisms powered by inner ground zero energy, stabilized through atmospheric and stratospheric conduits interacting with universal field harmonics. This research does not violate physics, it violates permitted physics. That distinction matters. The relationship between Nikola Tesla and John G. Trump has been deliberately minimized in public historical records. Both operated within the same high-energy scientific domain, lived within minutes of each other, and worked on overlapping problem sets involving high-voltage phenomena, electron acceleration, and radiation interaction with biological and non-biological matter. According to MIT archival material, Professor Trump designed advanced X-ray generators and worked extensively on energy systems that intersect directly with Tesla's confiscated research. This overlap was not coincidental. It represents continuity of custody. The Philadelphia experiment marks the first applied convergence of these research streams. What was publicly dismissed as myth functioned internally as a proof-of-concept phase for temporal displacement under extreme electromagnetic conditions. That chapter was never fully disclosed, by design. Following Tesla's death, his work was seized under national security pretexts. Subsequent attempts by deep state scientific factions to recreate the system using incomplete blueprints failed repeatedly. These failures were not accidental. Internal counterintelligence sabotage neutralized the program from within. CERN was later positioned as an alternative development pathway. Despite its scale, it proved insufficient. Energy density thresholds were inadequate. No stable wormhole formation was achieved. In 2017, oversight quietly shifted under U.S. military White Hat supervision, and experimental trajectories were redirected away from temporal research toward peripheral physics to avoid catastrophic exposure. Cheyenne Mountain and CERN together form what internal documents reference as the WWG-1Ga activation grid. This grid was locked down in 2016 under Executive Continuity Authority. It was not dismantled or abandoned. It was placed into controlled dormancy pending global alignment conditions. That dormancy state has ended. It is critical to understand that WWG-1Ga does not describe a movement, a group, or an ideology. It describes a synchronization condition, humanity transitioning from fragmented systems into phase alignment with nonlinear infrastructure already in place. Dimensional transitions are not announced publicly. They manifest systemically. Atmospheric anomalies, electromagnetic disturbances, and synchronized global irregularities are symptoms, not causes. What follows is not chaos. It is calibration. Sky event parameters are active. Maintain awareness. The latest video will be